1A. Goldstein started behind a line that was decimated by injury at the end of the first quarter and surrendered 7 sacks on the day, including this one for a Detroit safety. As usual, it was a tough Buccaneer defense that rattled the loudest sabers before succumbing to the Lions 11-0. Today, the Bucs and the Bears look for victory number 1 in 1983.
CBS Sports presents the National Football League. Today, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers against the Chicago Bears.
Live from Soldier Field in Chicago on the shores of Lake Michigan, another beautiful sunny afternoon, but about 30 degrees cooler than it was a week ago here in Chicago. Hello everyone, Tim Ryan and Johnny Morris at Soldier Field, where the Bucs and the Bears look for victory number 1. And Johnny, of course, last week for the first time in 59 games, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers had a new quarterback instead of the departed Doug Williams. Indeed, they had 2 new quarterbacks.
That's right. Both Jerry Goldstein and Jack Thompson played well. Neither starred, neither did all that bad, but when you don't score any points, you get a 0. John McKay said the team played worse than he thought they could on offense. However, there were some extenuating circumstances. As you know, a lot of their offensive linemen got hurt. There were 7 sacks, and there was just a complete disarray as far as the offense is concerned. But there's hope for today because Jimmy Giles is back at tight end. As you know, he was a contract dispute case earlier in the season. He played last week, but only sparingly. He's going to play a lot today, and as you know, he's been very successful against the Chicago Bears over the years.
Yes, he has. Well, while the Bears lost to Atlanta last week, they rolled up more than 400 yards of offense behind Jim McMahon. But today they face yet another tough defense in the Bucs.
That's right. Jim McMahon did a good job, and he will start again at quarterback for the Bears. But the Bucs are tough, anchored by Leroy Selman and David Logan on the defensive line using that 3-4 defense, so the Bear offense will have its hands full. But so will the Tampa Bay defense because Willie Gault, the world-class sprinter and hurdler, is going to play a lot today and catch some passes. Last week, not one pass was thrown to Willie Gault. Coach Mike Ditka says he's going to throw today, and the Bucs better watch out.
All right, Johnny, there is Willie Gault in the end zone, where from that position last week, he returned one for 38 yards. The Bears will receive and give Gault a chance to get off to a good start today. The rookie from Tennessee, Bill Capice, number 3, will kick it off for Tampa to our left in white. High kickoff coming down about 2 yards deep, and Gault will bring it out. He slips at the 10 and dives to the 15. Covering him there, Thomas Morris, reserve defensive back number 24. And so the Bears will start first with the offensive series. Jim McMahon will bring out Matt Suhey and Walter Payton at running backs. Brian Baschnagel and Ken Marjoram will start at the wide receivers. The rookies, Jim Covert and Rob Fata on the left side, Dan Neal, Sorey, and Van Horn, and then Emery Moorhead, the tight end. Rob Fata starting with the still injured Noah Jackson, been bothered with a thigh muscle injury and not yet ready to go in his usual spot at left guard. So Fata and Covert will have their hands full with Leroy Selman and company. First down, Bears. Pitch, Suhey. Suhey got a couple on the right side where Andy Hawkins, the linebacker, number 59, pulled him down. Looking at the Bucs defensively, one of the outstanding defenses in the entire National Football League. John Cannon, Dave Logan, and Leroy Selman across the front 3. The linebackers Hawkins with Jeff Davis and Scott Brantley moving into starting roles. Hugh Green, number 53, on the right side. John Holt, Washington on the corners. Colsey and Brown, the safeties. Holt getting that spot with the injury to Norris Thomas, who is not yet able to return to action for the Buccaneers. Moorhead, Saldi, double tight end here on 2nd and 7, and that is Saldi in motion. Walter Payton gets a block on the corner, a good one by Moorhead on Washington, and it turned Payton upfield. He'll be short of the first down, but it will be 3rd and about 3 when the Bears get the ball back here. Davis made the tackle, number 58, forcing Payton out of bounds.
Both of these teams have got to be happy about the cool weather here in Chicago. They've had over 40 days of 90-degree plus temperatures, and this is the first cool day in a long time. And while Tampa Bay's used to hot weather, the Bears are not so much, but they all appreciate cool weather. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, indeed. Last week in Tampa, the humidity was so sweltering. Indeed, rookie tackle Kelly Thomas went down to the heat, and then, of course, they lost Dave Revis, Gene Sanders, and that led to all kinds of problems by the end of the first period. Out of the shotgun, McMahon has time but no receivers. Now he finds Payton open. Payton has the first down. to the Bears' 28-yard line before Scott Brantley, number 52, forced him out.
Well, there's Walter Payton, a man who caught 8 passes last week, a man who has over 10,300 yards rushing only in his 9th year in the NFL. And he stayed alert that time, as McMahon had all day. Look at that. The only runner to rush for over 100 yards more than once, and he's done it 5 times against Tampa Bay. So if they stop Payton, they'll stop the Bears. But if they don't stop Payton, things don't look too good for Tampa Bay. He's the key.
Bucs defense actually rises to the challenge against the famous backs in the NFL. They seem to do awfully well against them, except for Walter Payton. And there's Payton again, slipping on the carpet and going down at the 29-yard line, a gain of less than a yard on the play. Andy Hawkins was there in front of him to make sure Walter got no farther when he got up.
The Buccaneers did rise to the occasion last week. They stopped Billy Sims, of course, and then we were talking to Neil Colsey. He says, we love to shut down those great runners. He said last week it was Sims, and we're going to shut down Payton this week. We'll see what happens. They held Detroit to 77 yards in 31 carries last week.
It is 2nd and 9 for the dark-clad Chicago Bears. In motion, Saldi, and he opens a big hole. Payton has a first down. A gain of about 9 yards. Cedric Brown, the safety, making the tackle.
And watch the block by the remaining back, Matsui. 26 goes through the line, and there he really lays the block on Jeff Davis. 58 makes a big hole as Walter Payton goes through and gets some big yardage. Good block by the interior line, and especially Matsui right up the middle on the linebacker one-on-one. Not bad.
Not bad at all. They're at the 39-yard line with a first down for the Chicago Bears. Opening series, Tim Ryan and Johnny Morris from Chicago. Suey straight ahead for a gain of about 4 yards. You know, this Bucs defense, the linebacking right from the inception of the Buccaneers has just been outstanding. You've got 2 young men in Scott Brantley who made that tackle, the third-year pick in 1980 from Florida. Jeff Davis, 6th-round choice a year ago from Clemson, moving ahead of Richard Wood and Cecil Johnson. And Andy Hawkins took the job from Dave Lewis, now departed. Hugh Green coming in on the right side. They've been able to replace quality linebackers with even more quality. 2nd and 6. Dennis McKinnon, the rookie, and Willie Galt are the wide receivers for the Bears.
Oh.
And it's almost intercepted on a perfectly timed interception try by Neil Colsey, number 20. And that would have been 6 for Tampa Bay. Boy, he smelled that one, Johnny.
That's right. The Bears had 2 receivers out there on the wing, and Willie Galt was one of them. Colsey, the free man, just comes up there, didn't worry about anybody else, just went for the interception, took a chance, and that's why he has 25 interceptions in the NFL. He'll take a chance once in a while. And it's going to be interesting to see how the Bears approach the Willie Galt situation. They say they're going to throw to him. They want him down deep, but the Bucs have not allowed a touchdown pass over 27 yards in 3 years. You know, so which is going to give?
3rd down here as the Bears try to keep the opening drive alive. And they give us to Walter Payton out of the shotgun. Payton has the first down yardage over midfield to the Bucs 49-yard line where Hugh Green forced him out. Interesting call. Certainly caught the Bucs by surprise on the passing down.
Off the shotgun, watch 34, Walter Payton. There's the inside handoff, a good block by Moorhead as he came down the line, and Payton dipped to the outside. Revisori 69 is out in front to throw the block on number 53, Hugh Green. Green gets an arm on him, but Payton was able to get just beyond that first down marker. The Bears keep the drive alive.
They spot the ball right at the midfield stripe. First down, Chicago Bears. Opening offensive series. Payton again behind Suey. Gets a couple. He's met and straightened up by John Kennan, the left end, number 78. First score in from elsewhere in the National Football League today. An interconference game, Cleveland at Detroit, and the Lions leading 7-0 on an Eric Hipple to Len Thompson pass. An 80-yard touchdown play. Len Fonts, the defensive coordinator of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And John McKay saying yesterday how pleased he is with the job that he's done. 2nd and 8. Suey straight ahead. Picks up about 3 yards. Gets to the 45-yard line of the Buccaneers where Leroy Selman, the all-pro number 63, made the tackle.
Boy, did he knife through nicely on that play to stop that one. Leroy Selman, he has 61 sacks. That's not too bad in the NFL. And, you know, when you're rushing out of a three-man rush, however they blitz a linebacker once in a while, it makes it tough. It's a lot tougher to get through because you'll be double-teamed. And they'll double-team Logan a lot. They'll double-team Leroy Selman a lot. That means somebody's not going to be double-teamed, doesn't it?
That's right. They spotted at the 47-yard line. So it'll be 3rd and a long 6 for the Bears. McMahon up the middle. Open is Tim Marjoram, number 82, for the first down. He took quite a shot from Neil Colsey, but held on to the ball, and another Chicago first down.
You're going to see a crisscross between Marjoram and 87 Emery Moorhead out of the shotgun. They'll come from right and left and crisscross, and there you can see that there it goes, Moorhead, and here comes Marjoram across the middle, and Cedric Brown was a little bit screened off by Moorhead as he came across. It's not a pick, but he just kind of gets in the way and forces the defensive back to stay a little deeper.
First down at the Buccaneers 39-yard line. They give to Payton. Trying to get inside the tackle, and the Bucs shut that down effectively. Number 58 making the initial hit, Jeff Davis, the linebacker. There was excellent defensive pursuit, piling up the Bears blockers on the play, and the gain will be about a yard.
We got to give some credit to Washington. He came across the line of scrimmage and jammed up the guard, Rob Feda, forced Payton to cut inside quicker than he wanted to, and of course Jeff Davis was in there. Jeff Davis had 13 tackles last week? That is sensational.
He is an exciting young linebacker, second-year man from Clemson. And they call it about a half-yard gain. McMahon has the time, and he has Willie Gump. And they rule he caught it out of bounds. Out of bounds for Willie Galt. Went up in the air, came down out of bounds, and so it is incomplete. 3rd down.
Okay, Washington is on the coverage, straight drop back, not much play action, plenty of time to throw, no pressure yet on McMahon, and you'll see Galt goes up for the ball, and he will come down. He didn't get his feet down there to drag those feet. He was worried about catching that ball, and that's one thing that that he'll learn as he gets into the NFL a little longer. You got to reach up there and kind of drag those feet for any kind of chance to stay in bounds on that situation.
5 defensive backs in on 3rd down. Johnny Ray Smith, number 22, joining the Bucs secondary. There's shotgun again. McMahon, quick pass out to Suey. Suey is met immediately, and he is short of the first down at the 32-yard line. Johnny Ray Smith, the nickelback, made the initial contact with help from John Holt, the left corner, and so the Buccaneers did their usual bend but don't break routine again. It'll bring up 4th down.
And you hit it right on the head. That's what the Bucs will do. They'll bend, they'll give you those short ones, and they figure that eventually the offense is going to make a mistake along the way, and the drive will kind of falter. Well, it did for the Bears, and Parsons is going to punt, at least apparently. This is an excellent spot to try something, because if it doesn't work, you still have the Bucs down in their own territory. We'll see what happens.
Parsons standing at the Buccaneers 48. The up man is Bashnagel for the Chicago Bears if they are going to try some trickery. A long count. Indeed, too long.
They did that on purpose, trying to draw Tampa Bay off sides. And the penalty, they figured that will give Parsons even a better spot in order to punt from. And they were
delay the game. Offense decline. Still 4th down.
Interesting decline. Tampa Bay says, okay, we'll leave it where it is and give him the shorter angle to punt with.
Yeah, I like that.
That's a smart call.
That is a smart call by the Buccaneers.
Unless the Bears fake it and go for a first down.
Well, that's right. But, of course, I think the Buccaneers were looking for that on the last down anyway. They'll certainly be looking for it here. But they have not given Parsons the angle to the corner that he wants. Another long count by the Bears. Parsons angling. Does a good job. Excellent job. That was Dennis Gentry, number 29, who was down waiting for it at the 1-yard line. And Bob Parsons played a little catch with his foot. A perfectly angled 31-yarder to his teammate Dennis Gentry. The Bucs will start from the 1 when we return.
Pontiac Pontiac has created a car so new, so different.
Fiero.
It will fire your imagination like no other car ever built.
Fiero.
It's called Fiero. America's first mid-engine production car. The totally new Fiero. Only from Pontiac.
We build excitement. Pontiac.
This bartender's the next big league pitcher and loves to serve fire-brewed Strohs. See what I mean? That was his fastball. That was the curve. Look out. Wild pitch.
What was that?
Relief pitcher.
From one beer lover to another Strohs.
Tim Ryan and Johnny Morris back in Chicago, where the Bears on the first offensive series used up 7 minutes and 8 seconds on the clock. Jerry Goldstein from Northern Illinois will start at quarterback for the Buccaneers from the end zone. It is James Owens, and the ball coming loose out to the 2-yard line, covered by the Buccaneers. And looking at the Bucs offense, with Goldstein at quarterback, James Wilder and James Owens are the starters at running back. Gerald Carter and Kevin House the wide receivers. Gene Sanders starting for the injured Dave Revis at left tackle. Snell, Wilson, Farrell, the rookie Kelly Thomas, the tight end Jimmy Giles getting his first start of the season in game number 2. Delvin Carver in for Owens at running back on the second play. And the give is to Wilder, who breaks a tackle and gets out to the 4-yard line. James Wilder, the heavy-duty man, 6'3", 225-pounder from Missouri. Osborne and Bell made the tackle for the Chicago Bears. It'll be 3rd and 7. Defensively across the front, Hartenstein, Osborne, Hampton, and Al Harris. The front four with Wilson, Singletary, and Cabral starting for the injured Gary Campbell at linebacker. Richardson, the rookie, with Frazier, Fensick, and Bell, the Bears secondary. Owens back in at running back. It is 3rd down and a long 6. The give is to Owens, and Owens diving out over the 10 will be close to first down yardage. Brian Cabral, number 54 from Colorado, making the hit. And let's see where they mark the ball. It may require a measurement.
I think they're going to be a touch short. I think it's going to be a few inches short, which would put the Bucs into a punting situation from deep in their own territory.
Bucs having to start from their 1-yard line following the perfect punt by Parsons.
Oh, it's just about an inch or two short, and you have to punt in this situation when you're down so deep.
John McKay says, let's punt. And I don't think he's even reflecting back to last week where they had 4th and very short. Melvin Carver failed to make it and wound up on the bench for the start of this game today.
Well, Frank Garcia can punt. I'll tell you what, he had a good day last week, didn't he?
This young man had a great day last week. Frank Garcia, 6 punts, averaging 48.2 against Detroit a week ago. And he's punting from the end zone. He had a 64-yarder. He kicks a low line drive, and he got a lot of mileage out of that. What a catch by Fisher at the 38 of the Bears, and he gets almost back to midfield. Well, there was a lot of excitement on that punt play. He had a punter kicking from the end zone. He had a line drive that went miles, and Jeff Fisher caught that like a receiver going downfield on a pass, Johnny.
It was down to almost the 40-yard line or behind the 40-yard line. I tell you, if he had not caught that ball, that thing could have been an 80 or 90-yard punt because it was a line shot. Look at that. If he hadn't caught it, it could have been a world record punt. But
he one-handed that. As it was, it went 53 yards. The Bears will have it at their own 48 when we return.
Pontiac. The 6000 STE from Pontiac is America's performance sedan. An engineering masterpiece that gives you an amazing command of the road. 6000 STE. Technically advanced, totally satisfying. 6000 STE, only from Pontiac.
We build excitement. Pontiac.
Over the years, this table was painted,
painted again, and finally antiqued.
To remove all this old paint, you need Formby's powerful paint remover. Formby's is a breakthrough. It works better than any leading brand. Watch Formby's paint remover bubble up years of stubborn paint because it's a special wood formula, an exclusive combination of premium ingredients. I make a powerful paint remover to make your job easier. It's about time.
Homer Formby. No one knows wood as good.
College football returns to CBS Sports next Saturday with regional action, and many of you will see this battle, the Texas Longhorns against the Auburn Tigers of Pat Dye. Check your local listings for the game and time in your area. It all starts with the NCAA Today next Saturday on CBS Sports. Well, we had an exciting punt play, and I have voted Jeff Fisher's catch certainly the punt catch of the year.
Do they keep
week
those kind of stats?
I'm not sure, but that's got a rate up there. He one-handed that baby over his head. It is first down for the Bears, and Frank Garcia showed he can punt the football low or high. 53-yarder on first down, play action. McMahon calmly in there, now running out of time. Can't find a receiver, he'll run. Out of bounds at the Buccaneers 47-yard line, a pickup of about 4 yards for McMahon. Quickly looking around the National Football League, we've got Pittsburgh and Green Bay are now tied at 7-7. Franco Harris has scored for the Steelers.
Washington 7-0 over Philadelphia. Joe Theismann threw a touchdown pass to Charlie Brown in that one. And it's St. Louis 7, Dallas 0. Jim Hart, the old pro, has thrown a touchdown pass to Roy Green. He's still around.
Lomax is hurt, so Hart got the start, and the Cardinals are always tough at home against Dallas. James Lofton scored the Packer touchdown.
Oh.
Suey is buried right at the line of scrimmage. Blasting in, John Cannon and Jeff Davis, the linebacker. What a job that front does. With 3 men, they get such good penetration with their linebackers. John McKay yesterday saying you're often looking at an 8-man Bears defensive line. Well, the same can be said of the Buccaneers because they all get involved in it. This telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League, intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use without the express written consent of the Bears and the NFL is prohibited. Third down. McMahon, the middle, incomplete. Intended for Emery Moorhead, the tight end. On the coverage was Neil Colsey, the safety, number 20. And either the pass was off the mark or Moorhead turned the wrong way.
Jim McMahon, the young man out of BYU who set 71 NCAA records when he was in college, and last year was NFC Rookie of the Year and had the highest rating of any quarterback that coming in as a rookie in the history of the NFL. So he's off to a flying start. He'll have his hands full with Tampa Bay today.
Parsons with his second punt, this time from his own 40-yard line. Back for it, Theo Bell, but it bounces out of bounds at the Buccaneers' 21-yard line. And so Tampa will start from there. We're still scoreless here in the first period. 4:48 remaining, first quarter at Soldier Field. Tampa Bay nothing, the Chicago Bears nothing.
Come on in, take a seat. We're gonna tell you what the big boys eat. Name is Wheaties Crunchy Wheat. Now you know what the big boys eat. Hello, milk, come on in. Jump in, berry, have a swim. Wheaties, Wheaties Crunchy Wheat. Now go tell your mama what the big boys eat.
Part of your good breakfast.
It's easy to forget Valvoline was the first to show you how to save money by changing your own oil. And it's easy to forget Valvoline was the first to put 12 quarts in a handy carry-out case. And it's easy to forget Valvoline is the choice of leading race drivers the world over. Yep, it's easy to forget all this about Valvoline, as long as you remember Valvoline is everything you need in a motor oil.
You're looking at Bear coach Mike Ditka, the former great tight end who was the personal choice of Papa Bear George Halas. He said he wanted Ditka to run this team, and Ditka's running it. They have a little bit more imagination on offense, the old Dallas-type offense. Now we're looking at Tampa.
Jerry Goldstein at quarterback. Wilder finds some daylight, steps over a tackler or two, and is close to first down yardage. out near the 31. In fact, it will be a first down for Tampa Bay to the 32. Gary Fensick, who missed a couple of plays with a sore rib, back in there to make the tackle. We were talking about James Wilder yesterday. What an outstanding player he is.
He certainly is, and he got some. Here's Jimmy Giles. Whoops, we're not going to see Jimmy Giles, but he threw a pretty good block.
All right, we'll come back to Wilder too when we get a chance, because he is the main man of that offense for the Bucs. This time he's wrapped up by Owens is wrapped up by Osborne, who had nobody blocking him, and Osborne had a clear lane to the running back and stopped him right at the line of scrimmage.
There was a mix-up in the line blocking of the Bucs that time. Sean Farrell ran right into James Wilder, and they looked at each other and said, whose man was that? It ended up being neither one's.
Out to the left goes Kevin House, number 89. To the right is Gerald Carter, number 87. Out of the I formation. Now they send Owens into the slot right. 2nd and 10. Straight ahead, it's Wilder, and Wilder pulled down by Singletary, but not before he picked up about 7 yards. Indeed, if it were not for Singletary making that tackle, he would have had plenty more. There was a lot of
That's right, because
on that right side, Johnny.
That's right. You see Otis Wilson, 55, was running out of the play here, and then as we see Wilder come up the middle, it puts them in a good 3rd down situation. But they caught the Bears as Singletary makes the tackle and a shifting of their defense right at the snap of the ball.
It is 3rd down, a long 3 for Tampa Bay, marching out of their own end. Again, Owens into the point. Again, Wilder, and he is hit behind the line. And again, it's Jim Osborne. From Southern, who really put a wrap on it.
They put the trap on Osborne. They had a trap on Osborne, and you're going to see Snell, 72, blocking on 68 right there. Here comes Snell to block 68 Osborne. He takes the block and gets through anyway and puts the clamps on Wilders. He beat the trap that time because he was able to get a yard or two across the line of scrimmage. Good play by Jim Osborne, who had 4 sacks last week. He earned it because apparently he was shaken up on the play, but last week he had 4 sacks. He blocked an extra point. He forced a fumble. 12-year veteran of the Chicago Bears and the mainstay in that defensive line, and that was a super play by Osborne, and it was a key play because the Tampa Bay Buccaneers now are forced to punt. Let's see if Mr. Garcia can duplicate his last one.
Frank Garcia, been with 5 NFL teams, including the Tampa Bay Buccaneers once before. He hopes he's finally found a home. And to hustle it against a good Bear rush, Jeff Fisher at the 14-yard line slips and then is covered by a horde of white-clad bodies at the 20-yard line of Chicago. A 46-yard punt for Frank Garcia from the University of Arizona, native of Tucson. He can punt the football. We'll be back in Chicago in just a moment.
Pontiac has created a car so new, so different.
Fiero.
It will fire your imagination like no other car ever built.
Fiero.
It's called Fiero. America's first mid-engine production car. The totally new Fiero. Only from Pontiac.
We build excitement. Pontiac.
When you have an insurance claim, that's the moment of truth.
You want results as quickly as possible.
You don't want to call a stranger with a claim, and with State Farm you don't. You call your agent.
And State Farm claims people are there when you need them to make sure everything's handled fast and fair.
What makes State Farm Claim Service work so well is an agent who's available when you need help.
And people who follow through with your claim.
And like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Coming soon to its proper place, Monday nights on CBS.
Together again.
Hear, hear.
Huh?
Hear, hear.
I certainly hope to.
After MASH.
2:19 to play in the first period. Tim Ryan with Johnny Morris. We have a scoreless football game. The defenses, 2 of the better ones in the NFC, if indeed not in the entire NFL, so far have dominated the action. First down, Chicago, following the Tampa punt from just inside their own 20. Suey in motion. McMahon gives to Payton. Payton trying right tackle. Jeff Davis is there, unimpeded, and straightens up Waller and gets a whistle. Number 58. Jeff Davis, the second-year man from Clemson. No gain on the play. Peyton has 23 yards. Well, it probably, well, let's see. They're going to give him a yard, so we'll call it 24 yards now for Peyton on 6 carries. McMahon is 4 of 7 in passing, but for only 22 yards. Second down. The long 8. Dennis McKinnon, the rookie wide receiver, along with another rookie, Willie Galt, in as the receiving tandem. Give it to Matt Suey and Leroy Selman, making his 90th start as a Tampa Bay Buccaneer. Puts the stop on Suey. And indeed, that 90th start makes him number 1 in that category among the Buccaneers. 578 career tackles after last week's game against Detroit. Moved past his brother Dewey into second place in the Buck career tackle list. Dewey has since moved on. Third down for Chicago. Third and about 7. Moorhead in motion back toward the ball. Out of the shotgun, the rush is on. What a lick. And that was John Cannon, the second-year man from William and Mary. And he got a pretty good shot at Jim McMahon back near the 10-yard line.
Let's take a look at Cannon out of the shotgun as they went into a big zone. You'll see he comes in 78 inside Keith Van Horn, beats Van Horn to the inside. So 78 beats 78. John Cannon with the sack, and as you can see, Tampa Bay is gradually getting much better and better field position after having coming out from their own 1-yard line. Now they have the Bears back deep.
The shotgun was no match for the Cannon on that play. Parsons will have to punt from the end zone. Kicks it from about the 2. It hangs a little and comes down inside Bears territory. Andre Tyler, number 81, with a fair catch. And the Bucs, as you pointed out, Johnny, have good field position now as they will have first down at the 48-yard line of Chicago when we return.
When you buy a new car, you want to keep it looking new. And that's easy with Armor All Protectant. A scientific formula that took a polymer chemist 10 years to develop. It helps keep rubber, vinyl, leather, and plastic looking new. So even though you can't keep your car from getting old, you can keep it from looking old. Armor All. It's science, but it works like magic.
Ace is the place.
Ace is the place for best buys of the month, like the original Vice Grip 7-inch locking pliers. Can be used as clamp, wrench, wire cutter, and more. Best Buy priced at just $4.44.
Another Best Buy is this Proctor Silex toaster. Chrome finish with almond accents. Easy to clean. Fingertip control gives the right shade of toast. Only $9.99.
Best buys of the month and one thing more. Ace is the place with the help of hardware man.
Back in Chicago, we are still scoreless with 17 seconds left in the first period. Next week, these Bears will be at New Orleans. Tampa Bay will be in the second half of the doubleheader action with Minnesota down at Tampa Bay. And, of course, other games will feature the Rams at Green Bay, an important contest. The New York Giants will be at Dallas. The Cowboys, meanwhile, are now trailing St. Louis 10-0 in the first period at St. Louis today, and the Giants lead Atlanta 3-0 on a field goal by Ali Haji Sheikh. First down for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They are in Bears territory at the 48. The pitch is to Wilder. Off tackle right, he runs through people for a gain of about 8 yards. We were talking earlier about him as we see Otis Wilson, the man to pull him down. And talking with John McKay about him, Johnny, I remember you posing the question, hey, is this guy all pro material? I know that you think he is.
I think he is. Every time I see him play, James Wilder, I think he's the best heavy-duty running back in the NFL. He can block. He's a good pass receiver. He caught 9 passes last week, and as you can see, he can run. So I like James Wilder a lot.
And he is the third-year man from Missouri. As time has run out here in the first period of play, we'll return to Soldier Field in Chicago with the score, the Bucs 0, the Bears 0.
From Pontiac comes the one-of-a-kind 84 Firebird Trans Am. You can order it with aerodynamic ground effects, a high-output 5-liter V8, high-tech turbo wheels,
and a close ratio 5-speed. And knowing you, you probably will. Trans Am, only from Pontiac.
We build excitement. Pontiac.
Michelob Light for the winners this time, huh?
Oh, you enjoy being buried in the sand.
Would good friends really play this hard for a beer? Well, it is Michelob Light, the rich, smooth taste you can compare to any beer you like.
Michelob Light for the winners.
The sea, the sun, the sand.
The check.
The check.
How can a guy 5'9" have an unfair advantage over these guys? I use the Gillette Atra razor. They don't. It's got the advantage of a pivoting head. Atra is better than twin blade razors that don't pivot. See? They don't always stay in my beard, but my Atra pivots to keep both blades on my beard longer. So I get a better shave, close, comfortable.
Get the Gillette Atra and get the Atra advantage.
Sometimes a little advantage goes a long way.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Pontiac, who invite you to test drive a new Pontiac at your Pontiac dealer. At Pontiac, we build excitement. Michelob Light, an exceptional light beer with a rich, smooth taste. And by Gillette Atra Razor, the twin blade razor that pivots for a close, comfortable shave.
The columns of Soldier Field, a crowd of probably about 60,000 on hand here this afternoon. Tim Ryan and Johnny Morris bringing you the action as we begin the second period. Tampa Bay had the ball for only 4 minutes and 50 seconds in the first quarter. They have not thrown a pass. It is 2nd and 3 at the Bears 41. Goldstein, the quarterback, to Wilder, and Wilder continues to be the main man, picking up another first down to the 20, let's make it the 34-yard line of the Chicago Bears, with Mike Singletary and Brian Cabral, 50 and 54, making the tackle.
The Bears have been pretty standard on their defense so far. They're going basically with a 4-man front, a lot of even defenses, whereas Tampa Bay's been using the 3-4. But the Bears are known to change defenses and blitz and do everything to you, and I know the Buccaneers are certainly aware of that.
Bucks come out in the eye. Carter to the left, House to the right. Short drop, and the first pass is complete to Gerald Carter. Carter gets to the 30-yard line. Carter, the fourth-year man from Texas A&M. Leslie Frazier on the coverage, number 21.
So we have seen Mr. Goldstein's first pass of this football game. As you know, the Buccaneers moved the ball real well during the exhibition season, and people were saying, well, we're not going to miss Doug Williams all that much, and then things went awry last week. And this is a big week for two quarterbacks, especially Goldstein right now, because he's in there, and John McKay's expecting this offense to move the ball a little bit.
2nd and 6, in motion behind the ball, Owens. Pitch to Wilder. Wilder trying the left tackle side, shook off the tackle of Cabral, was hauled down by Osborne, number 68, after a gain of a couple. It'll bring up a third down for the Buccaneers. They are in Bears territory at the 33-yard line.
And notice the neck collar that Jim Osborne is wearing. More and more of their players are starting to wear that foam rubber neck collar around their necks to prevent the backlash. That's the one place you can get a serious injury. And even though it's uncomfortable to begin with, you kind of get used to it. So anybody has a youngster, I advise, wear a neck collar.
3 wide receivers are in for the Buccaneers, and the Bears have sent in Schmidt and Williams to join the secondary, but there was an infraction before the snap of the ball, so whistles on the field.
False start offense, number 74.
False start is charged against Tampa. You mentioned earlier that the St. Louis Cardinals doing their thing as they do at home against the Dallas Cowboys. It is 10-0 in the first period. And they are going with Jim Hart at quarterback in St. Louis today with the injury to O'Neal Lomax. False start drops them back to 3rd and 9 for the Buccaneers. That could be a costly penalty. Now they've got a tough third down situation. Bears with 5 defenders in the secondary. Straight drop for Goldstein, has the time, and up the middle, incomplete, intended for Gerald Carter. There were 3 Bears around him. Harry Schmidt may have got a hand on the ball as it was thrown into traffic there. And it'll bring up 4th down. So the Bucs get into Bears territory and come out empty, and that does not put a smile on the face of John McKay.
John McKay, he's led this team to the playoffs 3 out of the last 4 years. And, of course, as you know, he went through some real suffering. They lost their first 26 games as a franchise, but overall, it's probably the best. This franchise has done the best of all new franchises in the history of the NFL. In other words, made it to the playoffs sooner and have done better.
Here's Garcia, nearly blocked, as Tyrone Keys had a clear path in there. Garcia just got it away into the end zone. It'll be a touchback. To make it to Richard Dent, number 95, the rookie from Tennessee State, who had nearly had himself a block. Looked like he juggled the snap a little bit.
And he saw Dent coming, and he figured he better hurry up, and he just got it off, and there was a slight contact there, but not enough in the official's judgment to rule interfering with the punter.
We are still scoreless early in the second period at Soldier Field.
Up before the sun, got the Honda ATC, gonna have some fun. Going freewheeling, it's my lucky day. Going freewheeling, come on out and play. Take it up, take it down, round and round and round. Going freewheeling, got the Honda ATC. Going
Billy Ray Perkins, for one brief moment, played left field in the majors. Looks like a stroll-light night.
Looks like a stroll-light night. Looks like a stroll-light night. When things are going
Stroll-light, a great tasting beer that doesn't fill you up.
Looks like a stroll-light night. When nothing can go wrong. Looks like a stroll-light night. When good times come along.
One of the most popular boxers on the scene today will be seen on CBS Sports next Saturday. Ray Boom Boom Mancini defends his WBA lightweight championship against number 1 ranked Orlando Romero of Peru. And also on that card, exciting young Robin Blake, who no doubt will have himself a title fight against Ray Mancini if he doesn't stumble over the likes of once beaten Melvin Paul. An exciting lightweight doubleheader next week on CBS Sports Saturday, 4 o'clock Eastern Time. Joe Clancy, Sugar Ray Leonard, and I will be there to bring you that action, and we're looking forward to some boxing excitement. It is first down for the Bears from their own 20-yard line following the Bucs kick. Neither team able to mount any kind of a sustained offense. Walter Payton hit at the line of scrimmage. His defense continues to dominate. Noseman Dave Logan, number 76. He is some kind of a load. He's so quick, he's tall, and really, in many ways, is the heart of the Buccaneers defense.
That's right, and he takes a lot of double teams. Now, you'll see Logan, he's right over Hilgenberg, number 63, the center. Now, he's going to have to obviously jam up things here. You'll see Jay Saldy, it comes down. He's number 81, a man in motion right there to hit Logan again. That's a double team, the tight end in the center, just jamming up Dave Logan. He's got to take that punishment, bounce off 2 men, and make the tackle. Now, you talk about football player. There's one right there.
You bet. Gain of only a yard. 2nd and 9. They swing it to Willie Galt. He's got nowhere to go. Mike Washington, number 40, was all over him like a blanket as soon as he caught the ball. And it'll be no gain, maybe even a loss of a half yard.
And you're seeing a little history for Willie Galt. This is his first pass reception in the National Football League. As you know, he did so well in the Helsinki World Games in the hurdles, finished 3rd in the hurdles, and he can run about a 9.200. And he's a definite deep threat. This was a short pass and has not got too many yards, but he'll probably remember it for a long time. His first pass reception in a regular season NFL game.
3rd down and 9 for the Bears from their 21. Out of the shotgun. They've got a wing left, and now in motion, Emery Moorhead back to the ball. McMahon has an open man, Suey. Suey is dropped at the 25-yard line for a gain of only 3 or 4 yards. And it was number 24, Thomas Morris, in as an extra secondary man making the tackle. And the Bears fans not too pleased with that offensive display by the Bears. Chicago had the ball for 10 minutes and 10 seconds in the first period compared to 4:50 for Tampa, but failed to move it into scoring position. Parsons will punt again. Hitting it from the 16-yard line. A dandy. Driving back, Andre Tyler inside his 25. Tyler gets to the 34-yard line of Tampa Bay, where the first man to meet him was Brian Cabral, number 54. 51-yard punt for Parsons. 11:43 remaining first half. We are still scoreless.
Learjet, Coco Lima on the final, gear down, lock for full.
The test pilot who broke the sound barrier, General Chuck Yeager.
Reliability means a lot to me. That's why I go with AC Delco technology in my car. This AC fire ring spark plug is no bigger than a bullet. Yet it's engineered to give you up to 30,000 miles of reliable performance. Never wait for trouble. AC Delco, the smart parts. For 40 years, they've never let me down.
I've loved this river since I was just a kid. But as more people moved in, it was bound to get dirty. So I was glad the town upstream installed a treatment system. Phillips Petroleum developed the plastic that makes it possible. Now, I don't know much about gasoline, but I go to Phillips 66. Because I'm not just buying gasoline, it's like I'm helping keep my river clean.
Fine products for you and your car from Phillips Petroleum, the performance company.
Next, can Yvonne Lindell win his first Grand Slam tournament? He faces defending champ Jimmy Connors in the men's singles final of the U.S. Open on CBS Sports. Next.
Well, I wonder if we'll see a check sweep or a sweep check or something like that today. Martina Navratilova winning the women's title yesterday at the U.S. Open. Today, Yvonne Lindell from Czechoslovakia has an opportunity to win the men's title for the first time against a several-time winner and a great champion in Jimmy Connors. That should be quite an exciting match coming up following football.
You know, Lindell is a great tennis player, but you know, he's never won a major tournament. I think he's won over $4 million in purse money, but never a Grand Slam event.
I have a feeling today is the day.
Well, I'm going with Connors.
Okay, first down, Tampa Bay. That is James Owen bashing through Brian Cabral and getting to the 39-yard line for a gain of about 6, maybe 7 yards. Call it a 6-yard gain, 2nd and 4.
Dan Hampton also in on that tackle for the Bears. He's another man that gets double-teamed quite a bit. As the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are now getting some offensive time. They haven't had much chance to move the ball on offense. We'll see what Goldstein can do.
They're running it fairly well. Owens into the slot. Wilder the lone setback. They give it to him. Wilder bulldozes his way for 2, maybe 2.5. Getting over the 40-yard line of Tampa Bay, where Osborne and Hartenstein combined to make the tackle on him. Remember, the Buccaneers, with all those tackles going down last week, are still without starter Dave Revis out with a knee injury. He's replaced by Gene Sanders, the 5-year veteran, the biggest man on the team at 275 pounds. On the right side, Kelly Thomas, back in action after having to leave you with a heat problem last week in Tampa.
The Bears have 6 defensive backs in there now.
3rd and a long 3. Goldstein to throw. Goldstein had it. Carter was open. Walt Williams broke it up. Gerald Carter looked like he was going to make the grab. But Williams got there at the last possible second to break up the play. Number 43, Walt Williams. Picked up as a free agent from Miami last year.
He didn't even know where the ball was. He just ran right into Carter right after the ball got there, and it was a legal play and just knocked the ball loose. And he sits down. He did his job as Garcia has to come back in.
Frank Garcia has a 53-yarder today. He had a 64-yarder last week. Jeff Fisher is back to receive at number 24, waiting at the 20-yard line. Garcia, this one hangs up in the wind a little bit. It's still a good punt to the 23. Fisher looking for a block, pushes Jay Saldi ahead of him and got to the 25-yard line before he was pulled down by Thomas Morris, number 24, number 43, Turdale Middleton. And so the Buccaneers will start first down, but there's a flag on the play that evidently came after the punt, although it may be. There's the
on
call.
the kicking team, 5 yards.
Face mask call on the punting team. 5-yard penalty against the Buccaneers. The ball was at the 25 on Fisher's return, so he gets 5 extra up to the 30. And the Chicago Bears will start from their own 30-yard line with 10:15 to play here in the first half, starting to cloud up a little bit at Soldier Field in Chicago.